Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mound. We are going to be finishing up our collection of logbooks. We just open up here. We would love a contract that gives us both melee weapons and ranged, just because of the juggernauts on this map. I believe pikes and halberds are also really good because they're armored, and I believe those deal armor penetrating damage. And don't very much like crossbows. I will take the one with the bow. I believe it comes
A
with machete
wealthy
by
man
default now.
is a free man.
So that gives me two decent weapons to go ahead and take a helmet. Apologies, my inventory is full. Torch, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna buy the two bandages just because you do get a lot of bleed damage if you are hit by bolts from the juggernauts. You've got near the mountain north, near the mountain south. Doesn't matter which of the two you pick. Um, Ultimately, you're looking for two cave systems. This is kind of like the large one. Learning the two cave systems is really the key to the map. So I'm going to go ahead and pick near the mountain south.
Improvements are depending on you.
Head on it. So this map is very difficult for people who are new to it. Two parallel cave systems. One of them is somewhat direct, but the other is very, very much large. I think it has like 4 or 5 different floors, several locations to kind of veer off into when you enter, and it can be very overwhelming to try and keep track of where you are in the map just based off of where you last were inside of that cave system. Either way, you start off, get on the trail, you run it, go through the water here. So checking the zombies out, making sure that there's no crow. These are the crows, and their screaming really agitates the forest, so I try to make it a point to kill them every time they spawn as quickly as I can. You can take a right at the bridge. There is a chest and an altar spot right there if you'd like to collect stuff. You wrap around, you drop the bridge. This is one of those maps where it's insanely dangerous by default because of the juggernaut placements. Sometimes they will be in the caves. There will usually be 1 or 2 on the way to the mound itself. Wanted those arrows. By the way, drop the bridge, go ahead and cross it. Quite a few enemies here. Fortunate that the block system is so slow, as it doesn't allow you to kind of deflect those immediate counterattacks. But this area continues on. You can definitely do some exploring, pick up some idols here if you'd like to. There's also this huge carving here with the whispers. This is where the cave has one of its first entrances from the south. As you can see, it is very large and very open. There are spots where you can probably drop and survive. There's left, there's right, there's straight. There's several ways to go about getting through it. We are looking to go straight. It just takes 2 power attacks to kill a regular zombie with the axe. We're not going to be going down that way, I don't believe. I think I have zombies on my tail. Okay, yep. So you can go down that way. But just deal with this guy. I can't block that attack, unfortunately. And I can dodge, so I'm just kind of that position where if I don't preemptively dodge it, I'm going to take the hit. So yes. Okay, there's a zombie there. I thought that the priest was shooting the gun. I was going to say, when did they add that? Get your first power attack, you get your second, you drop them. You're coming down. You're really looking for this curved drop here off of the cave side. It does continue downward, and downward that way is actually the way to get to the mound, but we're looking for this hole here. I'm just going to drop right in. To the right, there's a little altar spot there. To the left, there's an opening, but this is where we are going to get Saint Raphael. And I do like this guy the best just because he gives you passive generation. Makes it so you don't have to constantly be eating mushrooms or looking to have, you know, rations on you or anything like that. So long as you're not constantly taking damage, there's a good chance that you're going to avoid dying due to, you know, chip damage from encounters here and there. There's a breastplate. I picked up a pistol, which I don't actually need. So, come back out. We're moving straight in the opposite direction of where the saint was. It can definitely get a bit dark. If you don't have a lantern from the mission you selected on the contract, you can always bring a torch. It's really good for making sure zombies don't respawn. Again, we have more chests, we have an altar spot. And ultimately going to lead us to the ground floor. More or less, I guess. The ground floor is the best way to say it. Going out here, there are going to be some juggernauts up ahead, regardless of where they spawn on the map. We got some Tico flowers here to stop the parasites should we get hit by those red pustules. Will not be holding on to that for a long time, but since I've already picked up the saint, I guess I don't really have much need for that last inventory spot. But Fishman also spawns here. You want to be careful there. You can't block that attack. Take him down. The good thing about the fishmen is that they don't revive with the roots. Once you kill him, he's gone. I'm going to go ahead and make use of a second. That is the NPC, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Either way, come out to the opening. That's the hook alongside the cave entrance where we dropped initially. This is another way down, I believe, from the cave system. Right here, though, away from the cave system itself, is the path to the mound. On the right, you've got some altar spots there. And we have our first Juggernaut. These guys can't be permanently taken down. Definitely don't want to get into melee range with them. Their machete attacks are fast enough to stun lock you. Just needed to collect. There we go. So once you do enough damage, they'll take a knee. They'll stay like that for a minute or two, and then they'll get back up. They've got infinite bolts. They're just not worth the trouble at all. And on this map, you're going to have, you know, anywhere between 2, 4, 5. They are very, very numerous in this map. They can spawn inside the cave. They can spawn near the top of the cave systems where you do some exploring for valuables and stuff like that. There's always one generally by the entrance to the path to the mound. And there is usually a second one around the mound itself. And so for those of you who didn't know, up ahead, this is the mound itself. There is the second Juggernaut. We do not want to aggro him because he will follow us into the cave and then he will just spam bolts while we are stuck. There are some areas in the cave that are very narrow. And so getting by him is pretty much impossible. Let's hope the NPC can distract him for long enough to grab this and get out. So you run into the cave, pretty much a straight shot. Come to the portal to the underworld here. You get a guide page here that talks about how to get into the underworld. Right hand side, you see that burning idol. Here you get your final entry into the Codex. You learn about the Kenyan guy, who is one at the heart of all this nonsense alongside Cthulhu. The dead corpse here is where you're going to find the fort logbook, and there usually is some stuff around here that you can grab. You can actually go into the portal. You are going to have missions that follow up. These 5 altars, I believe they relate to the 5 Cthulhu cylinders you need to collect, and the journal entries that'll ultimately let you enter the final area for the game. So you grab the fort logbook and you make your way, and as you can see, I have this guy blocking the path. And unfortunately, there is very little we can do to get by him. We have our collision, which is not very forgiving in terms of squeezing around NPCs. Here we are, just kind of pushing him back. Hopefully he pulls his bow again. We can use that for run rate 5. So there's a good chance he'll probably kill the NPC there just because his machete attacks are so rapid that you get hit again by the time you're done recoiling, and he can... monster T-Rex like thing sitting around that corner. But he can do it rapidly enough that he pretty much stun locks you. Sometimes it'll kill you if you don't have like a full bar of health. There's a good chance you're just gonna die. But other times he takes a break maybe after like 5 or 6 swings. So you'll have the time to run away before he kind of restarts the stun lock. And at that point, I mean, I hope you have bandages because you'll probably be bleeding. And if not, then you're probably going to at least want to have a ration on you or something of the sort so you can try and get most of your health back. So the other one already got up. Doesn't really matter though. We're just going to stick to the trail here, follow it all the way back home. Hopefully the NPC didn't die. Usually, I found that he often gets himself killed on his own, but to see him survive against 1-2 juggernauts now is kind of crazy. Maybe they buffed the AI for the NPC that follows. Either way, you've got the tracks here. By the time you hit the mound and collect the saint, you should definitely have this white line leading you through the cave system back to your endpoint. If you don't, I mean, it's pretty much straight from one end to the other once you kind of come down this little loop. Come on out here, the monstrous carving is above us. You're going to take the right, and you're just going to run that all the way back. That will have allowed for you to complete all of the fort logbooks in the mound, while collecting all of the cursed relics as well. Not sure if that got me. Didn't hear the sound, so I'm assuming it probably didn't. Okay. Pretty much all set here. This is going to be the last mission for the fort logbooks, so we'll also have collected all 9 saints and all 5 cursed artifacts, and all of the creature codexes, which I believe there's 13, alongside the logbooks.
Are you ready to return?
The following pages come from the journal that was found near the mound itself. Most of this journal was written by Zamakona in his typical shorthand, in small, cramped letters that would take even the greatest scholar some time to decipher. But on the first page, Inez had left a note. This is what it said.
Let's see if you fulfilled your end of the agreement.
It is not easy to measure its worth.
What food did they bring?
It's better than eating the rats, I suppose.
What supplies did they bring?
Not much to look at.
What do you reckon these things are worth?
None. Perhaps they have become mendicants.
They found another logbook, and this one they found at the entrance to the underworld. We have important work ahead of us.
Go. So that is the 2 music tablets, which I believe currently the flute player here is bugged.
Yes?
I'm not sure if you get a song per tablet. You start with a Quiet Reckoning. You should get another one after collecting the 2 tablets. Perhaps there should be 2, given there are 2 tablets. I'm not sure if each individual tablet is like its own type of music, or if the 2 tablets you collect form the next song. Either way, this itself is a bug. He should have a second song after you get that second tablet at least. So once that's fixed, you'll have your extra song there, maybe 2. You have the 9 saints here, which final one was Saint Raphael. He gives steady regeneration. It's very nice way to kind of keep your health up without having to consume stuff. And then we found all 5 of the cursed occult items that we can bring into the matches. You know, each one with its own kind of purpose and use. So next time, I believe we'll probably just run through the 5 Cthulhu cylinders, which we need to get access to the final mission. But otherwise, I hope everybody enjoyed. If you like, comment, let me know your thoughts on the game, and I will see you guys in the next one.